and I've shared this before on the podcast, but I find a lot of historical stories about fighting against the oppression of free speech to be really inspirational. And so, as we've been having this conversation, I've been thinking about Richard Carlile, who was in the 1820s in England. He was imprisoned for publishing Thomas Paine's treatise on, like, basically religion, which was labeled as blasphemy. So, Richard
Yeah.
Carlile was imprisoned for printing that. His wife kept the printing presses going even though they like smashed up the shop. She reopened it. She kept printing the thing. She got arrested. Their sister reopened it, kept printing it. She got arrested. They just kept going, and the system could not keep arresting them and imprisoning them and smashing up the presses. So eventually, like the whole approach that the British government had to oppressing free speech changed, and it got a lot freer because people just refused to take that. And I'm on Jane Hadley's serial story right now that's about the Civil War era, and she has footnotes that share real historical anecdotes. And there was an anecdote about a woman who was publishing a newspaper in Minnesota leading up to the Civil War, and she published a newspaper calling out the Minnesota leaders for inviting friends and letting them bring their slaves and not freeing the slaves because they were in Minnesota was as they were visiting. And the people that she was calling out were so mad that they broke her printing press. They threw it in the river, I think. And she just got another one and then renamed it, basically trolling them, and called it, the St. Cloud Democrats because that's who they were. And she was just trolling them. And she just kept going. And I think we are going to keep going. We've been writing romance for ages. We'll continue writing romance for ages. People have always been queer. People will continue to be queer. We want to remain safe. We want to remain doing this. And like you said, I'm not a queer person, so I'm going to say we non-queer people need to bring our voices to the forefront because queer people have been fighting for so long, for so much. And, we need to buffet that and protect and be in front. Um,
Yeah.
so please, romance readers, assemble,
Yes,
unite.
please, 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 please do that. Yeah, along the lines of what you were saying, when the first real waves of censorship were gaining speed earlier this year, I think myself and every other queer writer out there was starting to really come to grips with the idea that, like, oh, what I do for a living could potentially, in a very real way, be criminalized soon. And, that's a very scary thing to have to confront. And I was talking with one of my colleagues about it, and he said, "Well, we've always found a way. Like, we're not going to stop. Like, this won't stop. Like, sorry, trying to make things illegal, that doesn't stop us." we we are descended from an invisible, untold number of generations of criminals. And when I say criminals, I mean people who have been criminalized, who are doing things that are crimes only because they have been defined as such by the ruling power. And we have written our stories and shared them and mailed them in underground ways for centuries, and nothing is ever going to stop us from doing that. But yeah, we'd love to be able to do it in a safe way. We would love to be able to make a living, even a modest one, doing it. And if it comes to it, we'll still keep slogging along. It's just, I would love to not get to that point. And, unfortunately, that means trying to get a lot more people interested in this kind of fight.
Yeah.